Rossi gets away from Mendez into the middle right. Phillips stabs it in. Bradley Wright Phillips does put LAFC in the lead after all. Whipped into a great area to goal. It's JOAO MOUTINHO, the former LAFC draft pick, who has tied the game.
Are you ready for this one? What a game. Quarterfinal matchup between Orlando City and LAFC. We pick things up in the 31st minute. BWP puts the ball in the net, but, Brian Rodriguez is offside. Goal called off.
It wasn't even close once you saw the replay,
Yeah.
But everyone was a little shocked.
A little shocked. Can we talk about this from not? How casual does he make that look? He just took a 40-yard ball and controlled it like, oh, no big thing. Guys, that's not easy. That's not easy. That's not easy to do. All right, so it was a 0-0 after a half. And then came this in the 55th minute. Diego Palacios takes down Ruan. So this is ruled a penalty. Not quite sure what Palacios was thinking here.
Well, I think he had misjudged the speed of Juan, who we had talked about, can they get down the outsides in this one? But how about this save here? I mean, Nani puts it at the right height. Vermeer does a good job, though. He reads it early, gets a little bit of a jump on it, and then gets two big hands. You thought at this point, man, maybe Orlando missed their chance.
Yeah, you sure did.
That
And then this happened only 3 minutes
moment.
later. Huge momentum shift right here. 3 minutes after that missed penalty. Who else? Bradley Wright Phillips pokes it on home.
That's why you bring him in to the LAFC.
Exactly.
Because he can do that.
The guy knows how
Good
to
little
score
slip ball.
goals. Exactly. Oh, man. This could have been
You
a
gotta
huge
finish
save
there,
from
Diego.
Goliath there. Huge save for Goliath. And then this.
Vermeer.
Vermeer.
This
Just,
is,
that would have been an own goal.
Going one direction and the next.
Oh, but here we
JOAO
go.
Moutinho.
JOAO Moutinho against his old team. Charlie
boy.
Davies, you called it.
Whenever you play against your former club, you show up. You want to show what they're missing. And he did that against Jordan Harvey, who plays his position.
And Jordan Harvey in PKs. That one hit the bar. And this, oh my goodness, I don't know how that made it through, but it did. And then Nani making up for the earlier missed penalty. He makes it. Orlando are going through to the semis. Nani is happy. My goodness. Here's a look at the game stats. And, it was crazy. LAFC did not have a shot on goal in the first half. I think that is the first time that has ever happened. Absolutely crazy. But yeah, just a wild one. And a feel-good story for Orlando. They are moving on. And LAFC, the last year's Supporters Shield winner, is going home. So, Orlando headed to the semis. They will now face the winner of San Jose, Minnesota. I am so here for either of those matchups. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the MLS's Back Tournament post-game show presented by Audi. I'm Susanna Collins, joined by Charlie Davies and Kaylin Carr to wrap this up. And I'm still just buzzing after this one. And guys, hold on. We're going to the post-game press conferences, guys, because Bob Bradley is at the podium and he was not happy after the game. So let's hear what he has to say.
We did, but it certainly wasn't our sharpest football night either. We did. Kenneth makes the save on Nani in regulation, then we score. We have a couple of advantages where if we're a little sharper, we can get the second goal, and then at the end, we just don't defend the corner well. We allow JOAO to get in there and more towards the back post. We left a space and didn't attack the ball. As I said, I believe our guys have handled this tournament well. I mean, we stepped on the field every game to try to take the initiative in the game and push things. And you could see that tonight, especially in the first half, I mean, it's rare for us to have a half where we don't even get a shot. So on that end, it was hard. And I thought we could still get through and have a little bit of time to recover before the next match. But unfortunately, a late goal, and then we lose in penalties.
Next question is going to go to Pablo Mora. Pablo, your line's open. Go ahead.
Bob, thanks for taking the time to chat. I'm curious what you think. Orlando did well tonight. Obviously, it wasn't pretty, but I'm curious what you saw exactly in the way they handled the game.
On a night like tonight, I'm really so focused on our team, just trying to see if we can raise our level and get to the kind of football that we're normally able to play. So when we don't, then you still give the other team credit that they make it hard. They play certain balls forward towards Akindele. They've got some ideas how to build out of the back. I think PAREJA is a good player. Look, they are making progress as a team, but it's not easy for me to assess the other team on a night where I'm disappointed that we weren't able to be at our best. So it's not something that's easy to give a good answer to.
We'll take one more question. Scott French, go ahead. Your line's open, Scott.
Hey, Bob. Do you leave here with ideas of areas that you need to emphasize going forward? And what is your understanding of what comes next?
Yeah, we've heard different possibilities, but we're not clear. So go back, and I know that we have to have a testing program that continues, make sure that we can get guys recovered. The time here, as I said earlier, our players have handled extremely well. I feel good about the way we went on the field and tried to play our football every match. We'll take the disappointment and we'll try to look at everything and see what comes next and be ready.
We'll end it there. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
All right, let's head on over to Orlando's post-game press conferences. Oscar Pareja.
And stayed in the game that needed a lot of heart and desire and determination, and I think they accomplished that in those 90-plus minutes. And the game rewarded them because they were the best team on the field. They were patient in the difficult moments, and I want to highlight that. That's the heart of the team and the club. We want to share that with our fans and the people who is starting to believe it and the people who has believed on us all the time. So we're ready to move forward, but congratulations to the players.
Thank you, Oscar. We're going to open with a question from Julia Poe. Julia, go ahead.
Hey guys, congratulations on the huge win tonight. My question is for Nani. Your first penalty kick was saved, and then you had that anchor penalty kick at the end to win the game. How did you kind of shake off that early save, and what were your emotions going into that kick?
Yes, during the game, when I had the chance to score the first penalty, was I think was a fantastic moment for the goalkeeper. He had a great save because I kicked the ball hard and I put it in the corner. I think it was a great moment for them. But straight after that, I had a great feeling about our team when we conceded the goal, because I looked at the clock and then I saw so much time to play. And then my experience on this kind of games tell me at the end you have one chance to score, and then you turn on the game. So we keep fighting. Our team was amazing. Every player who was on the field and the ones who was sub was fantastic. The determination, the quality of football we put on the field, the courage, the desire to win. So I think we deserve. At the end, we scored a goal because of everything we put on the field. And obviously on the penalties kicks, we put more concentration, we put more determination, and the best team won the game. So like Oscar, the coach, said, congratulations to all the staff. The coach been putting us, working hard, giving us, pushing us to be concentrated on the details. And I think all the details we've been training, been compensating us on the field, because that goal on the corner kick is something we've been practicing. The coach has been pushing a lot, and then they told us that could cost a victory for us, and we did it on the game. So I think it's more congratulations team, and then I'm so happy, and I wanted to continue to fight for this club and all the team as well.
Thank you, Nani. We'll go to Kevin Baxter next. Kevin, your line's open.
There it is. Hi, everybody. Joe, are you there? Hey, how are you, Joe?
Good, how are you?
I'm wondering, things didn't work out for you in LAFC like everybody hoped they would. Was this goal a little bit bigger for you, tying the game against your old team? Did it mean any more because it was LAFC?
I mean, I guess so. Obviously, I still have a lot of friends and a lot of people that I respect back there at LAFC. I spent a good year there, so I made some friendships, and yeah, I guess it might have that extra special feeling. But honestly, I just feel happy that I was able to help the team in a situation that we needed, and happy I got the goal and that we won in penalties.
We're going to go to Charles Boehm next. Charles, go ahead.
Congratulations to all of you. This question is for Oscar. Could you speak about how you prepared your team for this match, both in terms of the tactics of trying to contain LAFC and also the mentality part, the belief to challenge this very good LAFC side?
Right, that you said well. Their mentality is very good. It's a team that competes all the time, and what we have seen is that intensity and the way they press and the way they stayed on the game all the time, restarting the game early, and all those things. Our boys prepared their game very well. We did not want to be hiding there or speculate the game. We wanted to go look for them. And if they press, we wanted to press too. If they play quick, we wanted to set our tempos and manage the game the way we wanted with personality. So the message was constant, and the players sent us that feedback in the same way. They had it, they want it. And when you feel that as a coach, it's much easier. And that's why I would like to highlight their effort and their initiative, because at the end, the players are the ones who make the things happen in the field. And they deserve it. They know that this is another step. We haven't gained anything yet, but we play against a very good team. He has done a great job with Bob, and we respect that. But today we wanted to be protagonists, and they did.
We're going to go to
Orlando City pulling off the huge upset, and the soccer world weighing in on social media. Josie Altidore tweeting, "What an ending. Nani's celebration. Laughy face emoji. Congrats, Orlando City SC." Love it. Yeah, Nani was pretty pumped after he sunk that penalty. Pretty cool to see. We also had some other players. We had Dom Dwyer tweeting. Dom, of course, not able to be a part of this. He is out for the rest of the tournament due to an injury, but so proud of his team. Yes, that's character, lads. 2 go. Just such a feel-good story, guys. And we had talked about it in the pregame show. We've talked about it pretty much this entire tournament, about the good feelings around this Orlando City squad. And there is a sense of belief. And Kaylin, you spoke about character, the importance of character, and what Oscar Pareja has done to build character in this squad. And you talked specifically about the ability to score late goals, come back when you're down, and they exemplified that perfectly tonight. How do they keep doing this? What's the secret here?
Well, yeah, what we should say, Pareja came through it, and he got all the tactics right. And I would say character without tactic, every little piece right, is substitutions, the set piece, they got their reward. But at the same time, tactics without actual character, that doesn't mean a lot either. And look, character is a word, culture is a word that gets thrown around a lot, and I'm not sure it really means that much in a lot of ways, the way it's used, but there's two ways that I have experienced it in the best teams that I've played on, or from what I know, and the only ways I know to quantify it are, one, how do you do late in games? And can you get on the right side of things in the toughest moments when it's hard? And then the other way is, how do you respond to adversity? And we saw Orlando go through a missed penalty. They come down, they get the goal against them right away. And tonight they had both. They had late in games and how they responded to adversity. Then you go to Nani. He misses a penalty. He steps up. JOAO MOUTINHO, left aside by his team, sent on. He returns and does the same thing. So, look, I don't know. There's a lot of sort of cliches in football, and can you do it on a globe, on a cold night in Stoke? But there may be a new one. Can you do it late on and a hot night in Orlando in a bubble? And, boy, PAREJA and his team surely showed a lot of character tonight.
Charlie, let's get your thoughts on the character of this Orlando City squad.
Well, first, I want to congratulate Orlando City on deserving and earning this win. It wasn't a fluke. From the very get-go of this match, they were on the front foot. They were trying to disrupt LAFC, and it was working. LAFC was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. No one presses us like this. But Orlando City was not going to give them time and space. They weren't going to give them that type of respect. It was, let's press them, whether it was Uri Rosell being in fantastic positions to regain the second ball, and then they just kept pressing. Mendes, JOAO MOUTINHO pushing up, Juan. I mean, he was phenomenal getting up and down the right flank. This team kept pushing. And like Kalen said, the character, they go down a goal, just like against the match against Philadelphia Union. They didn't let up. They didn't let that distract them because of Oscar Pareja's message to the squad. You deserve to be here. You are good enough. Forget the past. This is a new Orlando City, and they delivered tonight. It was fantastic to see them really show that, you know what, we're in this to win it. Just because we're the home team, put that aside. We want this. We want this, and they fully went out there and grabbed all three.
And Charlie, we've seen that in moments, right? We've seen this in spurts where we've seen, okay, Orlando City has an incredible comeback, and then also you turn around the next game and it's an incredible collapse. And now what we've seen in this tournament is, to Charlie's point, we saw them come back against Philly. They get a goal down, they come and get it right back. We saw the 97th minute winner against Inter Miami with Nani coming through as well. So you're starting to see steps one by one by one. It's not a fluke. It's something that now is becoming more ingrained in the culture that PAREJA has set forth. So, look, you could say this is something to build off as you look ahead for this club that has been sort of going the wrong direction and pretty erratic in the past. But when you look towards this, now you beat LAFC, you're going to the semifinals. You got to be getting greedy here and thinking, can you actually go ahead and win this whole thing?
Oh no, Kalen, it's not even that thought. It's we are going to win this thing at this point. And it's the memories that you create in moments like this that really galvanize a locker room. And you talk about the character and the courage. It's these type of games where you have these moments that you can think of and relate back to that say, yeah, this is why we're together. This is why we're a second family. And that usually produces results.
During the match, it was funny. I didn't really realize how much I was internally rooting for Orlando to win this one until they equalized, and I jumped off of my couch and started fist pumping. But it is because they have been such a joy to watch, and I was really going to miss watching them in this tournament had they gotten knocked out. And so that character, their likability, the way they are under Oscar Pareja, it's contagious. It's infectious, and it feels good. I also just want to point out to you both that I did have Orlando number 2 in my power rankings above LAFC. So I look so smart.
I was
right
waiting
now,
for
so
that.
Thank you.
I was waiting for that.
Thank you, Orlando.
Yes.
Thank you, Orlando,
Respect.
for making me look brilliant. All right. Well, we talked about those character building moments, and one of those that happened in this game, there was a penalty called, and against Ruan, and that ended up getting saved. So let's take a look back at this moment in the match, and then this was a real momentum turn. You thought at this point that Orlando were going to be in control. This was the opportunity. Palacios came in with the challenge. Well, it's definitely a penalty.
Palacios was on a yellow at this point, right? So
yeah.
He was very lucky to stay on the pitch, and I think this is just a classic case of just underestimating how pacey Juan is, because he gets that first little step. He starts at a stop and just gives him a little bit of enough to go once, and then on that second push, it's a little bit too late for Palacios.
Mm-hmm.
Lunges in, really gives them a big opportunity at the match. And although Nani said that he took it well and gave a lot of credit to the keeper there, I mean, he did hit it well. He didn't hit it well. He hit it well, but yeah.
He hit it well. So you just have to hope the keeper doesn't guess the right way. Kenneth Vermeer guessed the right way. A lot of keepers, if you put it at that height, if they're guessing the right way, they're going to get to it. Even if it's hit into the corner, if it's hit well.
That was my issue.
Would
with
expect
it. He hit
Nani,
it hard.
Expect,
I didn't think the height was off for me.
Yeah, you would expect Nani to finish like he did in the shootout, and when it came down to do or die, he stepped up and buried it. So was it maybe just a lack of concentration, or it was kind of, I'll take this for granted because I'm stepping to the spot. I just got to hit it, and it's going to go in. Either way, Kenneth Vermeer, on the other hand, showed why they had started him, why they gave him that start, and why they signed him. Because initially, he didn't look like he had settled in, and he looked a little bit late on saves in past games, but he's looked sharp over the past two matches.
Yeah, he came up big in this one a few times for LAFC, as did Orlando's keeper. Pedro Goliath had some big moments as well. And, we talk about the missed penalty from Nani, and, ultimately it didn't matter because JOAO MOUTINHO came through against his old team in the 90th minute, and I've got to tip my cap to Charlie Davies, who in our pregame show, you anticipated that JOAO MOUTINHO was going to have a big game tonight, and boy, did he deliver in the biggest moment possible, Charlie.
Oh, thank you, Susanna. But I can speak to it from past experiences where I just had a little bit extra motivation. Whenever you stepped on the field against a former team, you wanted to show, you know what, this is what you're missing. And JOAO MOUTINHO only spent a year at LAFC and was made available for Orlando to take because they thought, maybe he's not as good as we thought he was, or is going to be as impactful as we thought he was. So that stings. That hurts. For you to build yourself back up with Orlando City and get this opportunity, he's shown maturity. I think he's shown how professional he is, how he went about his job. And when he got asked that question in the press conference, he acknowledged it a little bit. Like, I think it might. But deep down that he was ready to go. He wanted this match so bad, and he performed tonight. He really showed how much quality he has, and I think he has a high ceiling. He can be a fantastic player, and he's really making strides with his involvement in the game. His first touch, getting up and down, defending, and putting balls into the box. He really is a threat down the left side for Orlando.
Kaylin, what do you think of MOUTINHO? Any thoughts?
Well, first of all, keep it real. That feels good, right?
Yeah.
Like you go against your old club, and look, I was traded for. We've all been traded, and it happens, and it's kind of like, especially when it's the club that drafts you, it's like your first love. And I remember when I got traded from the Fire, and I love the Fire. I love Section 8 as much as anything. But when we went back in the playoffs with Houston and knocked them out, and you're on that flight home, that's a nice feeling, right? It does feel a little bit better. And if you're being really honest, if you're keeping it real. But look, he has a lot going for him. And I think sometimes those experiences, also from experience, can help you as well. Where maybe for one reason, or another, whatever it might be, it may not be the best fit. And I think LAFC, we'll move on, and I don't think they're going to be looking back and being like, wow, we really should have kept MOUTINHO, because I think they have other plans as well. But for MOUTINHO, this new system, this new fresh start, he's taken it with both hands. And to Charlie's point early, I mean, he was leading them in touches the match before this game. And so he's very involved in their attack. He's been defending. And the way he stepped up, even in the penalty, you could see the confidence on his face. So he has been a big part of that team and that partnership that's allowed Nani in front of him to be successful.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we saw a little bit of the footage of them celebrating in the locker room. That's got to be a fun place to be right now. And we talked about it in the pregame show. If they were able to pull this off, if they were able to get a win against LAFC in this MLS's Back tournament, we all kind of agreed that this would be the biggest result for them in club history. So now we can say, Charlie Davies, this is the biggest result for Orlando City ever, correct?
Biggest result. It was a fantastic performance. It was no fluke.
Yeah.
They really went out there and, they had the better of the play. They had 7 shots to 0 at half. I mean, that says it all, really, is how influential they were in the midfield battle, because that's where you have to stop LAFC with Mark Anthony Kaye and Atuesta and Latif Blessing. You have to close them down and not allow them to play and start attacks, and Orlando City did that tonight.
Yeah, I thought Orlando had some really nice moments. It wasn't all just sort of bunker and parking the bus. In fact, they came out with a much more aggressive slant in the second half and really pushed the game. Had some nice combination play in and around the center of midfield. They were really dynamic. And once they start moving, PAREJA is like a big part of how they kind of shift things and go end to end and change the point of attack. They could be pretty dynamic. So I don't know. Biggest win in Orlando history, very clearly, right? And when you look ahead, right, and this is the unique opportunity with this MLS's Back tournament, is for a club that's never made the playoffs before, this is how you grow as a team. You can't, it takes time, as LAFC have learned in the past, to understand how you maneuver as an individual, but also as a group in the knockout stages. And so I think if this is a club that is pointed in the right direction, say they get to an MLS playoff system later in the year, they're going to have a lot more cohesiveness, understanding, a little bit of playoff sweat under their belt, and make them a lot more of a team that, look, they took points off those first 3 matches too, so they're in a pretty good position. That's what the expectations will be after this.
All right, so waiting for them in the semis is the winner of San Jose, Minnesota. Which team, if you're Orlando,
Kaylin's match. That's Kaylin's favorite match right there.
Which team
I did pick
are
that one.
you? It's such a grudge match. Which team are you hoping you face if you're Orlando? What do you think, Kaylin?
Who cares? I mean, who cares? You just beat LAFC. You just beat LAFC. So, like, no disrespect to San Jose or Minnesota, but, I mean, you are in that locker room right now, and there is not a thought about tomorrow or the next day. Yeah, you're going to enjoy this. You're going to ride the wave. I think, I don't know who they match up better with, honestly. I mean, and we also don't know who's going to get through. It's 2 totally contrasting styles between San Jose and Minnesota. I think
you can't count out either team. We've learned that.
That's definitely Now
100%.
Who knows?
To be honest, for Orlando City, after beating LAFC, we're ready to play whoever. We know we can beat whoever.
Yeah.
We're confident, so we don't care who we have to play, because we know if we stick to our game and play the way we did tonight, we can beat anyone in this league.
Wow. Who'd have thunk it? This tournament is so fun, man. What a tournament. All right, let's take it now to the Audi Goals Drive progress, because during the MLS's Back tournament, with every goal scored, Audi will contribute $1,000. There were 2 goals tonight, and so far there have been 127 tournament goals, totaling $127,000. And during the MLS's Back tournament championship match, every goal scored is worth $5,000. And in addition, Audi will contribute $10,000 to the MLS's Back tournament Golden Boot Winners Academy Club. So let's now take a look at the Golden Boot presented by Audi standings. And it is still Diego Rossi up there at 7, but that's as many as he will get because LAFC are going home. Bradley Wright Phillips added to his total to bring it up to 4, but just like Diego Rossi, his tournament is over. But for more on Bradley Wright Phillips now, we send it on over to Charlie Davies with Top Tier.
Bradley Wright Phillips is showing just why Bob and Los Angeles Football Club have required him. His responsibility is to get in the box and finish his chances. When you have creative wingers like Diego Rossi, Brian Rodriguez, Carlos Vela, you just need to make the runs and finish your opportunities. Here, Diego Rossi picks the pocket of Mendez, and what does Bradley Wright Phillips do? He uses his intuition to make the run into the box, knowing exactly where the ball is going to pop up. And he sits there waiting for that opportunity. And what does he do? He finishes. Because that's what Bradley Wright Phillips does. 100+ goals in his MLS career because of his movement in the box and that having that killer sense, the IQ of a striker to understand the tendencies of the players around him. And here, threads the needle for Diego Rossi, who just was unlucky not to finish here. But that's what you want from your top goal scorer in Bradley Wright Phillips. He's like fine wine, still doing the thing. Love to see it. BWP.
Like a fine wine, says Charlie Davies, and that's making me thirsty, y'all. We've got a double header for you tomorrow, starting off at 8 p.m. Eastern. It's the San Jose Quakes against Minnesota. That's going to be a really, really fun one. And then followed up by our late night cap, 10:30 p.m. We've got NYCFC taking on Portland. That game is on FS1, so don't want to miss that. But let's look ahead to that San Jose Minnesota matchup. We're sort of referring to this as the no one believes in us derby. San Jose in a more fun aspect of it. They're inviting everybody to jump on the San Jose train in the same way as Orlando is. They've been one of the feel-good stories of this tournament, while Minnesota has this kind of chip on their shoulder edge going about it, and two very different teams going head to head. Charlie, what are we anticipating in this match?
Well, we know what Minnesota is going to do, and that is just defend and grind and look to counter and go down the right with Ethan Finley and Roman Menter and look for service and set pieces and try to take advantage of teams. And San Jose Earthquakes, they're just going to go forward. They attack. They throw numbers forward. Jackson Ewell gets on the ball, and he looks to play in Christian Espinoza or Vaco. And then you have Andy Rios, who's used to hold up the ball, link up the play underneath him. It's going to be an exciting game. I really do believe we might try and see Minnesota maybe try to move up the field a little bit higher, put some pressure under San Jose Earthquakes, and look to create some turnovers in their half. But this is one of those games that goes up in the air because San Jose Earthquakes, as good as they have played, Andy Rios is not a Bradley Wright Phillips. He is not a Diego Rossi. He's not going to get you goals. He's not a certified goal scorer. Chris Wondolowski has come off the bench and he has produced, but San Jose is missing that one striker who you can rely on to get you goals when things aren't going well. So this game is really it's up there. It's tough to predict how this is going to turn out.
Yeah, but Chuck, I mean, on San Jose's side, they have not been wanting for goals. 5 in their last match, and they're doing it by committee. It really isn't just one guy, right? Except, of course, that one guy coming off the bench late in games. But I think this match, I think San Jose will be the favorites, and I'm sure Adrian Heath will be pleased to hear that. But part of it is because I think the way that they play, the style is really difficult to contend with. We've seen teams really struggle with them, especially when you're not able to. I don't know how you prepare for a team like this because the way they press, the way they move, it's all over the pitch, and it really disrupts teams, especially Minnesota, who may not have the ways of maybe building out of the back and have to go more of a direct route. And so I just think that the mobility of San Jose will cause some problems. Judson and Jackson Hamil as well will be good. And then you have the depth where you're bringing on a Wando, or you're bringing on a Shea Salinas, or you're bringing on a Tommy Thompson, or you're bringing on a Danny Houston. That's tough because you got to deal with one team for 60, and then you got to deal with the next one for 30. So I think San Jose, for me, heading to this next one, has the edge.
Okay, and what about the second game of the night? We've got NYCFC taking on Portland. What do we make of this matchup? Because Gio Savarese has kind of had NYCFC's number, Charlie.
Yes, and I think this match plays to Portland Timbers' advantage. New York City have a ton of attacking options. They like to play forward and be aggressive, while the Portland Timbers prefer to sit back and counter and use that space to their advantage and behind when New York City FC pushes their lines forward. So players like Blanco, Valeri, Abobasi really thrive in space, and I think that's where you're going to see Portland Timbers look to grind this out, win 1-0, win 2-1, whatever they need to do. I think they have the experience necessary to get the result in this one. So I have to give the advantage to Portland Timbers, but this New York City FC team is scary. If they start playing the way they can, which we saw them at times with Maxi Morales pulling the strings, you have players like Tinnerholm and Matarrito who get up the flanks, then you're giving a lot more space for that front three. When you talk about players who can really hurt you, it's Bear who's running the spear at the top of the spear for this New York City FC team, and he likes to get in behind. He can finish with both feet, and Castellanos is no player you want to take easy because he can finish on a dime.
Yeah, Chuck, I mean, so many weapons for NYCFC. It can be scary when they all seem to connect, but at times when they've struggled, it has looked a little bit disjointed. It's been Matrita on his own, or Tajuri Shradi trying to create on his own, or, Iber looking for service, Castellanos trying to create something on his own. And the real key, the connecting point, has been Maxi Morales. He is the brain of this team. He's the one that makes, the pieces look more like a cohesive team. And we saw what he did when he came in and re-entered that last match against Toronto. I mean, it completely changed the dynamic of the team, just coming back, controlling the ball, switching the point of the attacks. And then he still has the juice to be able to make these runs, late arriving runs where he kind of, small guy, but just kind of ghosts into the box and just finds the right time and place to arrive. And look, this NYCFC team, I think, has a lot of momentum coming off that last match. Looked like a brand new team. And Portland, we know they're a tough out in tournaments. So I think this, heading into the quarterfinals, to me was the most intriguing and maybe the most even match of the field.
All right, we'll find out tomorrow. But Kaylin, right now, this is something that is really cool. We have seen these incredible Black Lives Matter shirts being worn by the coaching staffs. Like, everybody's wearing them at this MLS's Back tournament, and now we can buy them ourselves, right?
I just ordered 3, Suzanne. I
That's
just
awesome.
logged in because I was worried they were going to sell out. But yes, for all the supporters and fans of every team and watching MLS is Back right now, you've seen these tournaments, these shirts, and now you can support and get one of them yourself. They were designed, of course, by one of my close friends and me and Charlie Davies' former teammate, Warren Craval, who did all of the designs for everything, even on the sideboards around the stadium or around Orlando, as you see on the match, the Black Lives Matter design. Everything has gone through Warren, through his design skills. So, all of the money from this is going to the Black Players for Change and the organizations that they want to support to end systemic racism and to really make a change in this world. So, definitely go on and support.
That is so awesome. And literally, as we're having this conversation, I'm going to Philly's Twitter account and clicking on that link so I can buy my own.
There you go. There you go.
This is what a night for Orlando. Here's some clips of some of the celebrations. We saw Nani there for a quick sec, but these are some very, very happy Orlando City fans who have not had a ton to celebrate in years past, but my goodness, did they change the tide tonight. So happy for everybody involved. with that club. You deserve it. Celebrate the heck out of tonight, and we are so excited to see what's next for them. They can keep this magic streak continues. Guys, we're going to be right back here tomorrow. This crew here.
Susanna, I was sure you were going to make a Disney comment there. I was sure you were going to say something.
Oh, missed opportunity, darn it. Guys, join us from MLS Today, presented by AT&T before every match night. You can watch on MLSsoccer.com, Facebook, and Twitter, and then we'll be back post-game once again for the MLS is Back post-game show presented by Audi, where we will break down all the action for you. It's going to be a late one tomorrow.
Remember the Titans.
Remember what did I say? Mighty Ducks and Kaylin
Mighty
was
Ducks,
Dumbo.
yeah. I had Dumbo. Yeah.
Dumbo
I
over
love
there,
it.
Kaylin.
What a trio!
It's a great film.
We are literally squad goals,
Classic.
guys.
Fantastic.
Thank
flick.
you. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Get some rest, and we'll see you tomorrow. Congrats, Orlando!